Imagine a law that allows the government to step in and take over the assets of a church, a school, or a charity the moment their license expires. Now, to some US lawmakers, this is a clear attack on religious freedom. And to the Indian government, it's a non negotiable step for national transparency. Now, here we are talking about the FCRA Amendment Bill of 2026, which has just become the latest diplomatic powder cage between New Delhi and Washington. Today, we are looking at the facts, the figures, and why this internal matter has US senators and congressmen sounding the alarm. Let's start with the facts. So, the Foreign Contribution Regulation Amendment Bill 2026 was recently introduced in the Lok Sabha. Now, India has had FCRA laws since the year 2010 to monitor foreign funding, but this new amendment adds a specific clause that has everyone talking. It states that if an NGO's registration is cancelled, surrendered, or even if it just isn't renewed, all foreign contribution and assets created using that money will go to a designated authority notified by the government. Now, if the entity doesn't get a fresh registration within a specific time, those assets vest permanently with the authority to be used for public purposes. Now, the government's logic, it is that they want to ensure that if a foreign funded NGO stops operating legally, the assets created by that foreign money don't just vanish or get misused. Now, this triggered a massive push from Washington. Republican Congressman Raleigh Moore didn't mince words. He claimed that the bill would permit government takeovers of churches and also warned that it could become a major bilateral irritant. Then you also have Senator James Wright, head of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, calling it deeply concerning. Even Congressman Chris Smith has been very, very vocal about it, pushing for US Secretary of State Marco Rubio to intervene during his high profile trip to India. This argument is simple, that they believe this law targets Christian organizations and civil society groups that rely on overseas funding, potentially threatening religious freedom in India. Now, for the pull from the Indian side, New Delhi's response has been a masterclass in strategic autonomy. Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson Ranveer Jaiswal issued a firm rebuttal. His points were: first, sovereignty. This is an internal legislative matter for the Indian Parliament, and also parity. He pointed out that the US itself and many other nations strictly regulate the flow of foreign funds, referring to the laws such as FARA from US. Domestically, Home Minister Amit Shah has been in damage control mode. He met with the Chief Minister of Mizoram and also the Catholic Bishops Conference of India (CBCI) to ensure them that the law isn't retrospective. However, the CBCI remains clearly worried, stating that charitable institutions serving the poor for decades they need safeguards for their legally acquired assets. Now, let's look at the scale of what we are talking about. Now, according to MHA's data, between the year 2019 and 2022, over 55,741 crore rupees flowed into India via foreign contributions. And as of mid-July 2026, there are roughly 14,449 active FCRA registrations. But get this, that 22,498 registrations have been cancelled and over 15,212 have lapsed. Now, this tells us that the government is already weeding out thousands of organizations. The 2026 bill simply gives them the keys to the buildings and banks accounts left behind by those 37,000 plus cancelled or lapsed entities. So, is this a crisis? Not yet, but it is definitely a friction point. With Secretary of State Marco Rubio visiting India, the US is likely to bring this up behind closed doors. India is unlikely to budge on the law itself, but we might see clarifications added to the rules to ensure that places of worship keep their religious character even if managed by an authority. Now, it's a classic battle of national security versus civil society autonomy. The bill is still waiting for a full debate in the parliament. Now, will India dilute the asset takeover clause or will it stand its ground against US pressure? Drop a comment below and tell us, is India right to protect its sovereignty, or is the US right to flag these concerns? And do not forget to like and subscribe for more such deep dives into the stories shaping our world.